When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything. Hi, everybody. This is Black Rhino Ranger doing an impression of Walter Elias Disney. And welcome to a special magical birthday celebration. As today marks the 120th birthday of the man behind the mouse himself, Walter Elias Disney. The man who helped revolutionize the medium of animation. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing the Walt Disney and just talk normally. So for this occasion, now you're probably wondering, why is the super chat system turned off? Well, that's because for this occasion I don't want any rule-free requests. Yes, instead I'm going to be a bit more restrictive. So if you really want to request, you have to go by my rules for this one. And since the Walt Disney characters are a bit difficult to, are a bit more challenging to draw, I want to spend a bit more time on them than anything else. So no OCs, no crossover characters, and only the Walt Disney canon characters that were around during Walt's lifetime, because I want to be very respectful for this live stream. I want to truly honor Walt Disney's birthday. Okay, so it starts with it's either from the classic Disney shorts all the way to the Jungle Book. Well, technically the Jungle Book was released a year after his death. It was the last film where he was personally involved in. So, but if you have nothing to request, just ask me any question. Okay, so let's start off with something out of the classic Disney shorts. There's plenty of them. There's they're usually the ones from Mickey Mouse or Silly Symphonies or Mickey or Donald Goofy or many of the others. And they range from Plain Crazy and Steamboat Willie. So, which one do you want me to do? That's a... No, wait, that's not it. Okay, we got our first comer. Pardon me, I still have a bit of a cough. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It's not COVID, fellas. I do not have that illness. I just have a cough, that's all. Now, this one was actually based on, this one was actually a World War short. I actually remember seeing this one as a kid, though I may have overlooked some of the symbolism, or maybe they cut off the symbolism. Sorry. Alright, that's Chicken Little, the classic one. And on a set that he kind of met his demise. But then again, so was the original Chicken Little story. They all got eaten up. Alright, let's move right ahead to... Let's move on right ahead to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The first ever feature-length animated film made in America. So many recognizable characters: Snow White, Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, Dopey, the Queen, both as a queen and as a peddler, some of the animals, the hunter, even the prince. Although I have heard that even Walt Disney himself said that the prince was a bit too difficult to draw, so they had to reduce his thing to a cameo. Oh gosh. Excuse me, I just need a quick drink. Okay, what was I? Let's see. Now, another way to tell the dwarfs apart is the way they wear their hats. Some of them are a little bit more downwards, others are a bit more upwards. But sometimes, usually it's either by their noses or by the way they wear, or the way they're, just to make them a bit more distinct. Especially, I mean, there is a rule about using a silhouettes. That way one can tell who's who. I mean, sure, the Ninja Turtles look exactly alike, but one way you can and silhouette-wise, but one way you can tell who's who is by their weapons they carry, and each has a different weapon. Oh, pardon me, I don't know what happened. This just happened. And I wasn't coughing that much. I taste the full, but not the free, but not the best, the way. And I got the worst of him. Isn't this a silly song for anyone to sing? There we go, fellas. We have Bashful. That's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs done. Next up, Pinocchio. Let's see, how many characters can you remember from Pinocchio? It's there's Pinocchio himself, there's Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket, that goldfish, Figaro, the Blue Fairy, Honest John and Gideon, the Stromboli, that coachman, the that kid who becomes a donkey, Monstro, whichever. He says I have nothing for that one. Alright. You know, the funny thing about Pinocchio is that we never, the ones with the donkeys, they all get transformed. No, the donkeys, the bad boys, they all get transformed into donkeys. They get turned into donkeys, but the villain actually wins. Sort of. I mean, Pinocchio never stops him. Pinocchio never stops him. Pinocchio never stops him. He just escapes from the island, and all the boys that were on the island, they get sold into mines, and Lord knows what the ones who can talk what's he gonna do with them? It's kind of messed up. I mean, he kind of wins. And I don't think I'm doing a very good job with the coachman. Another thing noteworthy about the coachman is that he is like the only human character with 4 fingers. I mean, every other human character has 5. But the coachman in Pinocchio is like the only human who actually has 4 fingers. Oh, usually the 4 fingers are restricted to either wooded animals like Gideon and Honest John, or puppets like Pinocchio. But he's like he's like a human being with only 4 fingers. It's like a further indication that he's not human, especially the scene where he says they never come back as boys. Yes, and when he shows a devil-like appearance, it further speculates that he's not human. By the way, I've heard that there's gonna be a sorry. There's gonna be a live action remake of Pinocchio, and they're asking Luke Evans to play the coachman. Wasn't he already a Disney character as Gaston in the live action Beauty and the Beast? How can he serve as the coachman? I mean, this is something. I mean, looking at the design of the coachman, I was thinking, why not Danny DeVito? Okay, we have the coachman in prison. Like he should have been in the original. I mean, those poor donkeys. Where did I, oh, okay. So I'm just double checking on my thing. Now, Fantasia is one of those films with the package. Now you, now this one you have to. So for this occasion, I'm gonna help explain for those who are not familiar with the segments of Fantasia. Allow me to explain a little bit. The first segment is basically just moving pictures. That's about it, like a moving landscape. The second one is the Nutcracker Suite with the sugar plum fairings and the dancing mushrooms. The third one is the Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey Mouse wearing the wizard's hat. The Rite of Spring is basically dinosaurs. Then there's the soundtrack that's like that's anthropomorphized. The Pastoral Symphony with the centaurs, the Pegasus, the unicorns, the naked cupids, and other things. Dance of the Hours with the hippos and the alligators. And of course, Not on Bald Mountain with Chernobog the Devil. So, which one is it, fellas? No, you cannot have crossovers. We've been through this. You can't. Sorry, Mercy and her fans. I strictly forbid crossover characters and costume characters. All right. Let's see. I mean, Fantasia was a film that Walt Disney really had a passion for, and he really had and he wanted to experiment with it more, but he did want to make a sequel to it, but unfortunately the box office results of Fantasia ended up quite disappointing, so he scrapped the idea. In fact, Walt Disney's original intention was to re-release Fantasia every year, and every year there would be a brand new segment. In fact, one of the other segments they were planning to include was this thing called the Blue Bayou with the with this how do I say this stork, the stork. But that later became part of Make Mine Music instead. It wasn't until the 90s when we got Fantasia 2000. Fantasia 2000, where we have characters that actually where we have more segments, more classical music. Some would say some with a bit more of a narrative. I mean, the first one was basically just moving pictures. Some do have a few of a narrative, like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, but others not so much. I mean, Chernobog is basically throwing a undead party. That's it. Now, if the Rite of Spring segment were to be made today, it would probably focus a little bit more on the accuracies. I mean, looking back at it, the Rite of Spring has a ton of inaccuracies. Now, keep in mind, it was made in the 1940s, and back then we didn't have a humongous knowledge on dinosaurs. It wasn't like something. It wasn't something like Jurassic Park or Walking with Dinosaurs or anything like that, where we have a better knowledge on the dinosaurs. But even then, even those still had their inaccuracies, like the raptors having scales and having claws rather than feathery tips. Um, And another thing that kind of scratched my head about the Rite of Spring segment is the way the Parasaurolophus are drawn, the ones with the crests on there at the back of their heads. I never thought I see a Parasaurolophus drawn with a flap. Yeah, but I mean the crest on the back, they for some reason have a flap. I'm not sure what the intention was with the flap. And of course, they included in a Dimetrodon, which is actually a creature extinct during the time of the dinosaurs. In fact, it appeared like 50 or 30 million years before. 50 million years before the dinosaurs first appeared, and it's not even a dinosaur. It's a mammal-like reptile or a centipede. It's known for its teeth, some being both incisors and canines. It's something that a mammal would pick up later. And of course, the T-Rex in the Fantasia segment, for some reason, has 3 fingers. When I first saw this, I thought it was an Allosaurus, because that's when I think of a T-Rex-like creature with 3 fingers. The first thing that popped in my head was an Allosaurus. I nearly thought that was what it was. Now, Walt Disney, according to research, Walt Disney himself actually was aware that the T-Rex in real life actually has only 2 fingers. He only included a extra finger because he wanted the T-Rex to be a lot scarier. And the Rite of Spring was originally supposed to be an evolutionary type of movie where we go from the first life of fish and amphibians to the dinosaurs, to the Ice Age with the mammoths and the saber-toothed cats. But then Walt thought it might take off some creationists, so they just focused on the dinosaurs. Honestly, I never knew about the whole creationism being a problem thing until I saw the Simpsons episode The Monkey Suit, where Ned Flanders' accident was forced to go to the man part of the museum, and he's like, "What? Evolution? Our most cherished beliefs a myth? Pardon me, sir, but how can you mention men without the Bible?" "Oh, we do." They said, "No, nobody's bound from a monkey. It was all made by God." I thought you said it was a stork, Daddy. That was God disguised as a stork. There we go, fellas. We have Chernobog from Night on Bald Mountain wearing a crown. Bum bum ba da da dum ba bum ba 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 da bum brum. Okay, I'm trying not to sing too much of this because this might get demonetized even for slight more covers. All right. Fooling me was the good die. So. All right. So next up we have Dumbo. Now, because of the disappointment with Fantasia, Walt Disney was quick to work on Dumbo. It was one of the cheapest films that Walt Disney has ever made, with only $850,000. Even back then, it was cheap. It was like $16 million today. Let's see. I think I might have done so before. Let me just try this again. Let's make sure. Oops. Let's make sure he has the thing that can help. Okay, I gotta make sure the layers are long enough to. If the ears ain't long enough, then Dumbo can't legitimately fly. Yeah, let me just. Let's not forget. Yeah, it's kind of rare nowadays. It's very rare to see a male character with eyelashes. For the most part, it's almost always the females that have the eyelashes. It's almost never the male. Littlefoot and Dumbo, they're like some of the few characters to only have eyelashes and also be males. we go, fellas. Dumbo, flying. And next stop is Bambi. The story about known for one particular moment. Run, Bambi, run! Bang! Mother? Mother? Your mother can't be with you anymore. I wonder how many people teared up at that scene. Oh, Bambi's another one that has a bit of an eyelash. There's a particular line in the original Thumper that my mom often wants me to repeat over and over. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. It was an actual quote from the movie. A lot of critics would disagree. Yeah, I mean, what if there's politics and something like that? Or the dislike button. I guess that's what the dislike button is like, being removed because of Thumper's words. Or what about But I heard that even back then, Bambi was actually hated. Did you know? I mean, for one, Walt Disney's daughter absolutely hated the way Bambi's mother was killed off, and not only that, the hunters, actual hunters, actual hunters of the forest, the ones who are supposed to be keeping the ant deer population down, they were offended by saying that hunters are portrayed as bad guys. Yes. Saying that it is the worst insult ever offered to American sportsmen. Now, funny enough, in 2018 there was a psycho. There was a bit of a psycho who there was a bit of a psycho where there was a bit of a psycho who went into the forests and killed off some deer. Yes, and it wasn't hunting season, and he just left the deer there, just the corpse. He didn't bother taking it back with him. He just left it there, and because of that, he was arrested, and he was sentenced not only to jail but to watch Bambi over and over again. him, and to he's. I was thinking to myself, man, Bambi must have touched the police, the park keepers so much that he would do something like this to people like him. It also inspired Paul McCartney to be an animal activist, hence why he became a vegetarian. I think I don't know the full story about his veganism. Oh wait, oh yeah, it's his hooves are a lot different. Let me just fix that. And just to add in a couple of, gonna make sure I get the details right. Just add in a bit of. I'm trying my best not to leave out too much detail. Oh. And just include some. At least he's enjoying it, unlike Cusco. Okay, now this is where we come to the package film era. When World War II happened, Walt Disney was forced to make cheaper films. Not only that, but to also just have them packaged. To have them packaged in these shorts into full-length films. One of the first is Saludos, Amigos. It's perhaps the shortest film of all the Disney canon films. It features what was it again? It's only 14 minutes long, and there's only like 4 segments. The first is Lake Titicaca with Donald exploring Lake Titicaca. The other is Pedro, which features an airplane. I wonder if it was the inspiration for the 2013 film Planes, just like Susie the Little Blue Coupe, which is a Disney short, inspired Cars for Pixar. And then the other segment is El Gancho Goofy, where they demonstrate Goofy being a South American equivalent of a cowboy. And in the last segment, we get introduced to Donald's Brazilian parrot friend, Joe Carioca. So yeah, and it's in case you're wondering, yes, Joe Carioca actually first appeared in the in this short, in Saludos Amigos, rather than the 3 Caballeros. The 3 Caballeros actually does have a first appearance, which is Panchito the rooster. But Joe Carioca, but I think it was like his second appearance of Joe Carioca. His first is Saludos Amigos. Just trying to find let me just And sometimes the samba music gets stuck in my head. I think it was something like dun 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 dun. I think that's how it went. I can't remember, but oops. Yeah, if you're having an eye stick out, it's best that you include a bit of an eyelid, especially when it comes to Disney. Let me just so let me just reposition the hat a bit. I mean, for some reason you almost never see both of Joe Carioca's eyes. You only see one half of it. You only see one. I mean, his hat is basically blocking the other eye. Well, if he's singing, I'm. Oops. Yeah, that's more like it. I mean, it's always best to have the. I just realized it's always best to have the pinky shorter than the other hands because that's how our anatomy is like. Makes the hand a little bit more. Sorry, I just had a bit of a. I think I have a bit of a. Sorry, something just felt a little. I just felt a little weird for a minute. I think it's best I. Like I said, fellas, the Disney characters are a little time consuming, so forgive me if I'm not forgive me if I'm taking up a bit of time before I can go to the others. And let's not forget to include some and let's also include I know I shouldn't really include that, but it's kind of part of his character. There we go. We have Joe Karaoke. Wait, I have a better idea. Excuse me for a minute. No, this is no. He's not singing terribly. It's just. It's just. Just a little something to work with what he got in his mouth. Now the three Caballeros. No, actually, there's no point. I got Joe Karaoke, so that kind of counts. Actually, there's more to Three Caballeros than just the parrot. I mean, it started off with a couple of. It started off with Donald watching some shorts. It's like he was watching a short about a winged donkey, and another where a penguin who longs for some warmth. And another that that bird that acts like Woody Woodpecker. And then there's of course the first appearance of Panchito, the rooster, and he's got a lot of firearms.
A tickle? Well, I'll be doggone.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. Okay, maybe this was a bad idea to have Maybe it's a bad idea to have Now, another weird thing with Donald Duck is that another weird thing with Donald Duck is that there are times when he does prepare dinner, and he for some reason would have a bird as one of his dinners. Case in point, the episode when he calls his nephews for dinner, and then but the boys kind of misbehave, so they were sent to his room, and then as they ran out of the house, it was Donald chasing them, and then Donald felt like then a giant boulder crashed right next to Donald, and then a pebble hit him, and he feels like he was knocked out. And then the boys did something quite sadistic. They dressed him up as an angel. They put a fake Donald under the boulder, and they made a fake cloud. And when Donald wakes up, he sees the boys are moaning for his quote-unquote death. And can I add in excuse me, fellas, can I add in a little sombrero onto Donald? Because if it's to be Three Caballeros related, I think it's best that I include a sombrero. I mean, he did so in the Caballeros cartoon, especially the song, the da 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 stormy weather, the three caballeros da 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 dos. And just a little just a little something to Another thing is that it's in the classic cartoons, it's very rare that you actually see Donald on a boat, despite the fact that he's dressed up as a sailor. He was in the army in one episode. He was in the army. He was a scoutmaster, and heck, he was hailing for Germany. But that was in a dream. Funny, and another weird thing is that Donald is actually a bit of a Pepe Le Pew in a sense. I mean, in the Three Caballeros, when they were exploring Mexico, there's a scene where Donald was at the beach and he wants to hang out with some of the live action girls. Nowadays, I wonder how well this could fly. Anyways, there we go, fellas. We have Donald Duck. Just a minute. There, Donald Duck with a taco. That's the Three Caballeros done. At least was recently on anime. Yes. Yeah, that's what they should have done for Space Jam. They should have just rewritten the character. I mean, now this one I don't think a lot of you know about. It's called Make My Music. As of now, this is the only film in the Walt Disney canon that's not available on Disney Plus. I have a DVD on it, and it was known for two particular controversies. The first one being the segment of the Martins and the Coys, the one with a lot of gun shooting. And the other one is, let's see, what was it again? I said thanks for the picture. Okay, let's see. What was I again? Oh, yeah, and the other controversy is in the all cats join in the dance thing, all the cats join in, and there was a bit of a woman with a very suggestive imagery, especially when she was changing, and Disney did edit that bit. A Skylanders tuned in Squid Games. Never watched it. Okay, so somebody knows. Let's see. Let's see. His design almost looks very gold duck or Psyduckish. I will say, I did remember seeing at least one or two of the Make Mine music segments when I was a kid. One of them is Casey and the Bat, and the other being, excuse me, sorry about that. Just expand this one a little bit more. And of course, like I said before, Make My Music has a segment that was supposed to be for Fantasia, but because of the box office bomb with the Fantasia film, they had to resort in They had to, what was it again? They had to resort in making a segment as a part of Make My Music instead. There is a petition to try and get the what was it again? The Make My Music to be on Disney Plus. You can sign up if you're interested. There we go, fellas. We have the duck from Peter and the Wolf holding a shotgun. That's Make My Music complete. Now we move on to Fun and Fancy Free. Now this one only has 2 segments. Now some of you probably are not familiar with the bongo segment, which is basically a circus bear who escaped into the wild. But you're probably familiar the most with Mickey and the Beanstalk, the one that has Willie the Giant. You know, the fee-fi-fo-fum, hee-hi-ho-hum, I'm the most amazing guy am I? Fee-fi, I don't know no fee-fi. Fee-fi-fo-fum, I smell pot roast. Chocolate pot roast. It's the special, with green gravy. By the way, yes, rest in peace, Will Ryan. The second, I think it was the second to voice voice Willie the Giant, or maybe the third. I'm not sure, but the most famous to voice Willie the Giant. He wasn't that old. He was at the age of 72. A lot of people thought he was 80 something, but no, he was actually but no, he was actually 80 some 70 some 72 actually. He unfortunately he was succumbed to cancer. I also know him as the original voice of Petrie from the original Land Before Time, the first movie. Of course, he was replaced by Jeff Bennett. Fee, fighty, foey, fum. And sorry. And I also heard that the last time Will Ryan actually did the voice of Willie the Giant was most recently with Mickey's Funhouse, one of the Mickey Mouse shows that's primarily in 3D and aimed for a younger audience rather than something like The House of Mouse or Mickey Mouse Works. And he was not the only actor. He was not the only Mickey Mouse actor who passed when it comes to actors in the 3D Mickey world. There's Wayne or Allwine, I'm not sure how you pronounce it right. He was the longest voice of Mickey Mouse for about 32 years. He used to play Mickey Mouse in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show, but he also was the voice of Mickey in. He was also the voice of Mickey in the House of Mouse, Mickey Mouse Works, Mickey's Christmas Carol. And of course, there's Minnie Mouse, the original voice of the Russi Taylor. Although she managed to complete her voice recordings for Minnie, for a lot of the how do I say this? For a lot of the Mickey short, for a lot of Mickey's preschool shows. Her last role as Minnie was in the Flash. I think it was in the Flash or Adobe animated Mickey Mouse shorts that were done in a style of of the classic Mickey Mouse shorts, the Steamboat Willie style. I don't think I'm doing it right. Excuse me for a minute. I think I'm kind of messing it up. Excuse me for a minute. I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna try it like this. So very smaller thing and a slightly slimmer, thinner outline. Thing is, though, I'm not a big fan of using the thinner outline because sometimes it just doesn't connect very well. It doesn't connect the strokes very well. Just repositioning Willie's grip. Nowadays, with all the advanced technology we have when it comes to animation, how come Disney animation doesn't utilize that anymore? I mean, there is definitely potential for more stories to be told with this type of medium. Yeah, CGI is nice and all, but sometimes we like a bit of hand drawn every once in a while. You know the funny thing is that they when they brought in the they there's another strange thing about Willie is that they gave him this ability to transform into anything. Like he can be a bunny, he can change himself into an elf, fly up high like a bit, birdies, disappear in an atmosphere, and of course the pink bunny. He was supposed to. He said to turn him into a fly, and he's like, okay, if that's what you want, a fly. But before he could do it, they're like, you sure you don't want a pink bunny? Wait, what's this? You think you can fool Willie? And he traps Mickey and he stole the golden harp. There we go, fellas. We have Willie the Giant. That's fun and fancy-free taken care of. Next up is Melody Time. Now this one may be also another unknown one, but this one I think some of you. Who would win, Willie the Giant or Giganta? Giganta, but only the Justice League 2001 animated version, or Justice League Unlimited version. If it's the Lauren Faust's DC Superhero Girls version, Willie will win. I guarantee. Because the more you think about it, the Lauren Faust version of Giganta doesn't really grow that huge. I mean, she's still able to fit into a bedroom. And she didn't grow 50 feet, she just grew extra muscles. That's about it. I'll be right back, fellas. I just need to Okay, I'm back. So, let's see. No, I ain't gonna do crossovers. All right. John Henry one. John Henry says. No, I cannot do. So it's Let's see. All right. Now that song is stuck in my head, the Johnny Appleseed song. In fact, another funny thing is that before when I was a kid, I never heard about Johnny Appleseed. Except for one particular thing, I owned a piano book which had the song included. You know, the Lord is good to me, and so I thank the Lord. He's good to me. Another thing, Melody Time is another one where I did remember seeing a few shorts as a kid, like Little Toot and the Once Upon a Winter Time. And I did remember, but as for Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill, I didn't see them until I was an adult. I mean, Pecos Bill, I was, during my Skylanders with different songs videos, I was trying to search for songs for Nate. No, I then came across the Pecos Bill song from Melody Time, and I decided to use that for Warnado, in the Superchargers time. And a year later, when I was doing my Legends of the Hidden Temple crossover series, I used clips of Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill for the crossover, using the Legends episodes, the Mushpot Hat of Johnny Appleseed and Pecos Bill's Lost Lariat. Sorry, it's just a bit of a yawn, that's all. No, I think I'm not doing it right. I just No, I don't think I drew the nose right. Let me just Yeah, I think this one is a lot better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that great at drawing on Johnny Appleseed. Yeah, this will do. In fact, Johnny Appleseed has been drawn in many different ways before. let's see. Oops. Now we come to the last of the package films, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. You can ask me to draw something relating to the Wind in the Willows or the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So is it we're merrily, 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 merrily on the way to nowhere in particular? Or who's that coming down the street? Are they shovels or are they feet? Da, da. In fact, this is my most favorite of the package films. I would watch this almost every single year here because it's so good. I mean, the songs in Ichabod are so catchy. The Bing Crosby, the jazz singer, one of my mom's favorites. Let's see. Iron Ball. Let me see. Looks like it's good. Apparently, Mr. Toad's car was available for Disney Plus. Wait, I don't think I'm doing it right. Excuse me for a minute. No, I didn't do it right. Let me try that again. And his eyes are a little... Well, let me try that again. Little backstory, fellas. When I was watching, when I was doing my last invitation animation, you know that animation where I specifically, you know that animation where we were having a guess where we all have a guess who is the last character in the lineup for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. One of them was yes. Of course, for many of us, our biggest hope would be Crash Bandicoot. And I was thinking maybe I could do an animation based on what if somebody wanted it so badly that he would try to steal the invite. And I was like, what type of story should I base it on? So then I was thinking, what if it was based on how in Ichabod and Mr. Toad, where they tried to get the deed from Mr. Winky. Where they tried to, in a similar chase fashion, where the weasels chasing Molly, Ratty, Ratty, Molly, and what was it again? Badger, Ratty, Molly, and Toad, and he yes, that was supposed to be in that particular style where the character who was stealing it were the Skylanders. They wanted to steal the invite so badly because they wanted a chance to be popular once again, and after like 5 years of hiatus on the consoles, even though they still had a game in Ring of Heroes, which is a mobile game. Unfortunately for that was the idea where Spyro would be Spyro would have a similar position with Ratty. Ratty. Gilgrum would have a similar position with that Mr. McBadger. Eruptor would be like Molly, while Trigger Happy would be like Miss J. Thaddeus Toad. But and then they would try and steal the invite, and then they would be chased by other characters who want to be in the game, including Master Chief from Halo, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, Heavy from Team Fortress 2, and so many other characters. Even the PlayStation ones like Ratchet, Sly, and Kratos, they wanted to get the invite too, although there was a gate preventing between PlayStation and Nintendo, which prevented them from entering in. And then when after the chase was over, the Skylanders managed to get to the gates of Smash, but before they could enter in with the invite, somebody snatched it from them. And this is when that's when part 1 ends. And in part 2, the person who stole it is Darkwing Duck. In fact, Darkwing Duck too wanted his popularity to come back. I mean, he was supposed to have his popularity. He explains that he was promised a popularity comeback in 2016 or 2015 in the days of Disney Infinity. But unfortunately, when Disney Infinity ended, and the fact that he lost to a cult and the fact that he lost to Olaf the Snowman, Darkwing was quite enraged. So he thought maybe if he can steal the last invite, he'll have another chance to become popular once again. But before he could enter the ring, he would later be stopped by another person who ends up being the final Smash character, the one that gets officially revealed. In this case, it would have been Sora. Now, had I gone with that original idea and still have Sora as the final result, Darkwing would have been like, oh well, at least he's still or was it the Skylanders are like, well on the bright side, he is you and he and you and him share the same owners. Now that was the idea at first, but then but then I was commissioned to do an animation, and that took up a good chunk of my time, and I was about to and as soon as I was about to get started on doing the works, suddenly the Activision lawsuit happened, and this left me in a bit of a slump. I had to rewrite the script like 3 or 4 times in order to address the fact that the lawsuit thing existed, and chances of the Skylanders being in the game, and even Crash's chances of being in the game, are quite slim at this point. So I tried. So the other time I tried. What if it was done in the style of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where the combatants try to get to the flame on top of the Pyramid of Argus. Yes. And the flame happens to be Blade. Maybe I could have done the same, but the flame would have instead be the invite, and zombie Liu Kang would probably be Crash Bandicoot, and maybe Shang Tsung would be maybe one of those astronauts from Among Us, and so forth. Unfortunately, I had very little time, so I couldn't really do anything about that. And then I tried another idea where we address the controversy, and Crash became highly depressed, and he wanted to be out of the picture. But the Skylanders then stopped him from doing so, saying that there is more to life than just wanting to be in a game. And then they discuss about what if we try making our own Smash-like game. So, in the end, I went with a mixture of my first and third idea. The Skylanders steal it not for themselves but for Crash Bandicoot, and Crash was so happy he actually did try to get in, but he got stopped by them and he got arrested. Now, if Crash won, the ending would have been a lot different. It would have explained what happened to the doppelgangers in a different way. But since Sora was revealed, I had to rewrite the ending to have Mickey Mouse be somewhat involved. Alright, that's it for the package films. Next up, Cinderella, all along is Cinderella. And this was said to be Walt Disney's favorite film. Don't let Monterey Jack see you like this. He would go nuts for it. Apparently, in the Chip and Dale segment in Robot Chicken, they address the fact that the men wear pants, but the women do not. And Chip and Dale and Monterey Jack, they all wear pants. They don't wear pants. I mean, they don't wear pants, but Gadget does, and she wonders why. And when she tries to go without pants, they're like, I gotta get out of here. Chip, what are you doing? Even Zipper acts very strange. Somebody once made a joke that I think Disney animators. Why would the men not wear any pants? How come it's okay for a man to not wear pants, but it's not okay for a woman not to wear pants? Then again, it's the same logic that Mortal Kombat 11 has been receiving. Why it's okay for men to be shirtless and sometimes just not wear too much on top, while the women nowadays, they have to be completely covered up. And sometimes I wonder, how come Cinderella is able to sew clothes for Jacques for the mice just like that? Oh, there's one particular line in Cinderella that really has not aged well. It's when they're doing the Cinderella, Cinderella, all along is Cinderella. There's a particular line which nowadays, if you're a woman, you might be offended by. They say, "Leave the sewing to the women." I mean, Jacques wanted to help, but the women won't let him. Nowadays, that can be taken the wrong way. Well, that's Cinderella done. Okay, next up is Alice in Wonderland. And let's see, let's see, there's like tons of characters in Alice in Wonderland. There's Alice herself, there's the White Rabbit, there's the Dodo, the Doorknob, and the Lizard with the Ladder, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, the Walrus and the Carpenter, Cheshire Cat, the Butterfly, the Flowers. Oh man, so many. Can you? I think this is like maybe I'm wrong, but this is like one of the first times that Sterling Holloway he voiced in a Disney film. And he being the voice of the Cheshire Cat, and he's the he would also later become the voice of actually no, not even that. I mean, he was actually it was I think it was Dumbo. Oh, actually, where he provide the voice of the stork, and then he would later be the. Oh yeah. He did a couple of. Actually, he's been a long Disney voice actor. I forgot. I mean, he was in Three Caballeros. Was narrating for the penguins. He was a stork in Dumbo, and then he was a Cheshire Cat, and he was a Cheshire Cat. He was the of course he was the Kaa from the Jungle Book, Winnie the Pooh, and he's the Cheshire. Of course, he's a Cheshire Cat, but he's also a bit of a narrator on a lot of things. He was a narrator for the short called Goliath the Second. He was he's quite talented, though it is possible you can recognize his voice. Oh, he's also the mouse from the Aristocats. And wouldn't you know it, he had a worthy successor, Jim Cummings, who would be the voice of Pooh in Winnie the. Who would become the new voice of Pooh Bear, and at one point he was also the voice of Kaa. Basically, he does a great Sterling Holloway impression. The type of inside the water tower. Actually, rather than that, I'll just have him just standing on his own. Yeah, he's just using his Apparently he has opposable thumb on both his feet and his hands. Usually that's a monkey's thing, but in a world of insanity, I guess it works. And there's another thing with Alice in Wonderland is that it's actually taking notes from both the first Alice book and Alice Through the Looking Glass, and there are quite a number of characters from both books they cut out, which are actually quite notable. Oh, I mean there's the Griffin and the Mock Turtle. Although there is a commercial of Jello which you can see interacting with Alice, the Disney version, and there's the Jabberwocky, and there's the White Knight. up to Neverland. And that's where we meet Peter Pan. There's Peter Pan himself, Wendy, Michael, George, and there's Tinkerbell, but there's also the pirates like Captain Hook, Smee, and there's the TikTok, the crocodile, they're the mermaids, they're the Lost Boys. I don't think I should do the Indians because nowadays they're seen as an offensive, especially the chief. And the song, although pretty catchy, that's still stuck in my head. I don't think I should actually should be sung anymore. Truth be told, I never see the Indians in Neverland as actual true natives. I always thought they were based on a theory. They were based on pure imaginary types. Yes, it's still not right to portray them like that, but it's basically, I mean, since Neverland is basically a fictional world, it's just a little something. Okay. Let's see. Oops. A little bit messed up. Smee. Now this one is actually one of the rare times when Crocodile is actually not very villainous. Yes, I mean he actually does. I mean he wants to eat the bad guy. That's about it. And Peter Pan actually doesn't mind him. He's like, Mr. Crocodile, do you like codfish? You do. There is somewhat of an easier version that was of TikTok that was presented in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, but I'd rather stick to just this version. I'm gonna try and mimic the old classic version. Wait, anyone notice that Tinkerbell is actually a bit of a... I don't want to say it because it may go against YouTube's guidelines, and you might call me out for saying it because it's kind of rude, but Tinkerbell actually tried to get Wendy killed. No, seriously. I mean, she ordered the Lost Boys to shoot at Wendy, and she nearly fell to like staggered rocks and spikes. Oh dear. Perhaps Peter Pan had the right to banish her Alright. And, I'm actually glad they portrayed her a lot better in the Tinkerbell movies. The one with was it Mae Whitman or Wayne Whitman? Yeah. Where the ones where Tinkerbell actually speaks. I'm actually glad they portrayed her a lot better in those. Yes. Granted, I wouldn't say I dislike her as much as another type of fairy show. But I don't want to talk too much about that. And mention that in the comments section, and I will kill ya. Okay, not really, but I'm just gonna ignore the. Section. Unfortunately for Peter Pan, the actor for Peter Pan, he did not live very long. I think he passed away at age 30 something, and he was a subject to substance abuse. There we go, fellas. We have TikTok with a bow and arrow. Looks like we only got 5 more movies to go. Okay, next up is Lady and the Tramp. I'll be honest, fellas, Lady and the Tramp is the one I look forward to the least, because let me tell you something, fellas. I once had a relative who kept visiting us, and he always demanded that we watch Lady and the Tramp. I told him, "Oh, can we take a break, please?" He says, "Lady and the Tramp, Lady and the Tramp." I was like, okay, we'll watch Lady and the Tramp. But I don't have to be around. So we put him on, and then the next day he says, "Lady and the Tramp, Lady and the Tramp." I was like, okay. Next day, Lady and the Tramp, Lady and the Tramp. And I was like, well, if you like the, I was like saying to him, well, if you like Lady and the Tramp, if you like the Lady and the Tramp so much, why, let me put on the sequel for you. And yes, fellas, I do own the sequel to Lady and the Tramp. He ignored it. Yeah, probably for good reason. And then I tried putting on other Disney films which I thought he might be interested in, like Fox and the Hound, Peter Pan. And I tried putting other Disney films for him to see if he would be interested. Nothing. He just wanted Lady and the Tramp, and that's it. He has no interest in anything else. I wouldn't say insane. He has a severe autism, let's say. His is a lot more severe than mine. He's nonverbal and partially nonverbal. I mean, there are times where he says, when he does occasionally speak a few words, like heavy or already or Lady and the Tramp, but basically he just doesn't really want to talk, and he's very hyperactive, and now at age the last time I saw him, he was nothing much has changed. he was still pretty hyper. Here, and when I was watching TV, he just made random noises. Let's see. Remember seeing him? Yep, he's the Lady and the Tramp fanatic. Scamp's Adventure. Yep, that's what I mean. How can you shoot? Let's see. Somebody seriously wants my character. So wants the characters to be up in atoms, up in arms. Yes, I am aware of the controversy behind these characters being and of course they play. And here's another thing I noticed about Lady and the Tramp. Peggy Lee actually does not one but 4 different voices for Lady and the Tramp. She voiced Darling, the owner of Lady, and she voiced the Siamese cats, C&M, and she also is the voice of Peggy, which is basically a dog version of Peggy herself. And we have a CD of Peggy Lee's hits and she in one of them is not just it's not just He's a Tramp included, but also the Siamese Cat song. And keep in mind, fellas, I am a mixed Asian. I am of Malay, Pakistani, Chinese, and Indian descent. And I found the cats fine. I thought they were pretty... I found the cats enjoyable. And the thing with me is that I rarely get offended with these stereotypical portrayals of Asians. I was like, yeah, I know they're products of the time, but yeah, sometimes they're kind of funny. The only thing I'm kind of the only one I'm thinking I found quite offensive was Mulan 2. I thought that one was very offensive. Something I was like, why? What the heck were the people behind the movie thinking? I mean, according to traditions, they want to marry. The thing is supposed to, because the Huns were about to attack, they need to marry. These princesses must marry somebody from another China tribe or something in order to form an alliance. Wait, I think I form an alliance, but because of the whole duty to your heart thing, the princesses ended up marrying the soldiers, Yao, Ping, Chin, and Po, instead. And what about China? It's doomed. The Mongols are attacking, and Mulan 2 kind of committed accidentally caused destruction of all of China. Off screen, that is. I find the fortune cookie always wrong and cat from the Aristocats less offensive than that. And of course, and heck, the fortune cookie always wrong cat from the Aristocats. He's actually correct. Fortune cookies are always wrong. They don't originate from China. They originate from Japan, but they were introduced as Chinese food by Americans. There we go. We have the Siamese cats dancing. Dun 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 do 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 do. Now for I Know You, I walked with you once upon a dream. Let's see what we got. Have you watched How to Basic? I have not. Paul Winchell is father of April Winchell, voice of Sylvia. Don't know about Sylvia, but I do know April Winchell was Clarabelle Cow. I'm just out of curiosity. I wonder if the Maleficent dragon is what inspired Malefor and Cinder. we go, fellas. We have the chibi version of the Maleficent dragon. Next up is 101 Dalmatians. Now this was a little bit of an interesting one. It was the first film in the Disney lineup to use the Xerox process, where the animators can save costly on the cells, and they can try and reuse some animation on some of the characters. Here's a tradition that would be used again in the Sword in the Stone, the Jungle Book, the Aristocats, Robin Hood, and so forth. Let's see, that's not right. Yeah, if I want a better I need to draw the bone right, so yeah, it's more like it now. That's more like a bone that would exist in a Disney. Funny enough, when it comes to the Disney live-action remakes, the 101 Dalmatians is perhaps the only one that's actually that is one of the few ones that's actually quite beloved. And mainly because many people enjoyed it. Maybe because of Glenn Close as Cruella. And in fact, some say the popularity of the live-action films is what made Cruella a more popular character once again. I'll pop them off. You do the skinning. Just trying to make sure I get the things right. Uh-oh. And no. I don't like it like that. That's more like it. I know I said I'd be more faithful, try and be a bit more faithful to the things. But sometimes if things just aren't working out for you, do a little improvisation until you have more satisfying results. Yeah, there we go, fellas. We have Pongo with a bone. That's 101 Dalmatians check. Only 2 more, and then we'll wrap it up. And next up is the Sword and the Stone. Oh, okay, goodbye. Have a nice dinner. Oh, they did it in 100. Yes, I am aware of the show. Honestly, I like Mulan 2 better than Hunchback 2. Yeah, I will say I can see some effort with Mulan 2 more than Hunchback. At least the animation is pretty good. Well, for the most part, there are some scenes in Mulan 2 that look a bit awkward, especially with the argument between Mulan and Shang. So, The Sword and the Stone is James Rolfe's favorite movie, the angry video game nerd. According to the nostalgia critics, he both loves and hates the film. And he's like, he said it was it's too hard to be educational. Anyways, what was I? Oh yeah, so there are different types of, there are many different ways you can try with the Sword and the Stone. There's the then there's the what was it again? There's of course Wart, either as a human or as a fish, squirrel, or bird. There's Merlin, either as a fish, squirrel, or even during the wizard duel against Madame Mim, where they transform into various animals like a crocodile, turtle, a rhino, an elephant, a mouse, a walrus, many other animals. Or there's Sir Kay and Sir Ector. There's that wolf that tries to eat the wart. There's Archimedes the owl. There's also a pike. There's even this woman that keeps freaking out, and reused animation was in order. Like when Hail King Arthur, have you seen The Lion King's Timon and Pumbaa? I was a big fan of that show. I've seen every single one of them. Anyways, where was it? Alright. Anyone? The old... Yeah, but she's an ugly old witch. Why would anybody have a crush on her? But she can transform herself beautiful, but in reality... But, of course, in reality, she's an ugly old witch. I think it was also one of the few times one of the first times that Disney actually works up with the Sherman Brothers, who are known for making some catchy, jazzy type of music. They although this one here is not exactly their most well known. Some of them I kind of forgot existed. But the ones I do remember is the packing song, the Hickatus Fickatus, the one they go hockety pockety wockety whack, under that the nappa pretty styes, hit this bow, we got to save 'em up room for roll, Hickatus Fickatus Pickatus bow, press them in chitonium, and so forth. And the Merlin is basically like the genie from Aladdin. He talks in a modern and in a modern tongue, at least modern in the 60s. It's like these dark ages without water or electricity. In the first edition times in London would be in the next 1200 years. And it's sort of like television. Oh, let me help you explain a bit more. Now, because Merlin has his beard is Merlin's beard is a bit something, it makes it easier for the animators to lip sync to whatever and it makes it easier for animators to reuse bits of him to reuse bits of animation whenever he does any talking, especially with the when he's like, oh, where was I, boy? Hockety pockety, oh yeah, that's right, hockety pockety pockety whack. And then when he does that little dancing thing, and then he does that little dance again during the dishes. It's like, no one would know the difference. Who cares? Something like that. And the scene where he checks the clock, he's like, let's see here. He should be here, I'd say, in half an hour. It was reused again where he was like trying to. When he looks at the clock again, it's like the London Times first edition would be in 1200 years. And even some of the voice clips were reused, like Wart would say, Archimedes, help, 12, and sometimes he will always say, whoa. And another fun fact, the voice of the voice of Wart keeps changing over time. I mean, he in the film he was voiced by 3 voice actors. One of them being he was played by somebody else, but then he was going through puberty, so he asked so they asked his Bruce Weatherman's Wolfgang Reitherman's sons, were called in to take over as Wart, and sometimes his voice was a bit was a bit out of thing. It's like, but it's true, sir. Or that big old fish says something. Or I'm not even moving. And heck, there's even a scene where they play both voices, like, oh, so Hector, whoa, like that. It's like he's on a puberty roller coaster. And of course, Bruce Weatherman would later be known for voicing Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh, and another thing I'll be talking about in just a minute, as I am almost done. Alright, now for the final one. The last thing that Walt Disney worked on when he was still alive. And although he may have passed away before it was released, it should not go unnoticed. The Jungle Book. If Wreck-It Ralph may be my most favorite in the Walt Disney canon, The Jungle Book is my most favorite, of which Walt Disney was involved in. You name it. There's so many characters to memorize. There's Mowgli, there's Baloo, there's Bagheera, there's King Louie, Kaa, Shere Khan, the vultures, the wolves, the elephants, and so many others. I don't know where to begin. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Let's see. Now another odd thing about now there was one thing I will admit is quite odd about the Jungle Book. Look, orangutans, believe it or not, do not live in India. Instead, they live in Southeast Asia, basically where Malaysia is. In fact, orangutans used to live in Malaysia, but now they're extinct. And now they reside, but they do reside in our neighbor country, Sumatra of Indonesia. So in the Jungle Book remake, they actually did something more sensible and made King Louie, rather than an orangutan, they made him a Gigantopithecus, which actually it was an ape that resided in China and India. In fact, the Jungle Book 2016 is actually more important than you might think. Even if you think it, say what you will about it, you may like it, you may not like it, but I think it's kind of an important piece of history, or kind of an important thing for Disney history. I mean, it was a film that basically was made because they were able to secure the rights for King Louie again. In case you don't know, during the time of the Jungle Cubs, where they had characters dressed up as how do I say, in their young days, and with characters in their young days, and they were where Shere Khan, Bagheera, King Louie, Baloo, Kaa, and Hati, they hung out. The series was cancelled because Louis Prima's widow, who sued Disney, saying that they don't have the right to impersonate King Louis or any of her husband's work. But because of that, they signed a deal on never to use King Louis again. So as a result, King Louis was absent in the Jungle Book too, and when and in the House of Mouse they had to create a new a character who looks exactly like King Louis, named King Larry. The only time they didn't seem to get the memo was in this video game called The Jungle Book Groove Party, which I happily own. And they kept the King Louis character. They had Jim Cummings play King Louis. What was it? But when she passed away in 2013, that's when I think Disney was able to secure the rights for King Louis again, and starting with the Jungle Book 2016, they were able to use King Louis once again. And so I'd say that I mean Disney owns King Louis. She doesn't. And they're the ones who created him. I mean, seriously, why the heck? Yes, I am aware that sometimes some people have a higher up than others. I mean, but seriously, I mean, King Louis is not really Louis Prime's character. It's Walt Disney's character he's created. That's like saying Bugs Bunny is not Chuck Jones or Tex Avery's character. It's Mel Blanc's character, or it's Joe Murray's character, because they voiced the character. Yeah. Okay, what was I on the and just a little bit of and just a little bit of yep, that'll do. There is King Louis having a banana split. And let's see what we got. We got let's see, we have the Chicken Little of the 40s. He's short. We have Bashful, Admiring, and Emerald. We have the coachman from Pinocchio in jail. We have Chernobog wearing a crown. We have Dumbo flying. We have Bambi eating grass. We have Joe Carioca singing. We have Donald eating a taco. We have the duck from Peter and the Wolf with a shotgun. We have Willie the Giant with a boulder. We have Johnny Appleseed planting seeds. We have Mr. Toad riding a motor car. We have Gus Gus eating cheese. The Cheshire Cat with a top hat. TikTok with a bow and arrow. The Siamese Cats dancing, a Chibi 5 Maleficent, Pongo with a bone, Merlin with some magic, and of course King Louis with a banana split. And once again, happy birthday, Walt Disney. And I did my best to be as faithful to your creations as much as possible. And I like to see what your company has in store in the future. So what is your favorite Disney direct-to-videos Disney sequel? I think it's The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. The songs are so catchy, the da 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 da. Do you hate The Jungle Book 2? Not really. I'm neutral towards it. There are some things I like and some things I don't like. But it's still better than Mulan 2, I will admit. Fox and the Hound, it has a prequel. I haven't seen it, so not really. The Iron Hunt, the Vultures. Oh yeah, because Jess Harna at one point did voice the Vultures in the House of Mouse. I think it was also the Vultures in the Jungle Book Groove Party. During the We Are the Vultures part. What is your favorite Disney short? There's a lot. I'm not sure which is my favorite. Maybe it's the Goofy short Tomorrow We Diet, where Goofy is portrayed as a very fat guy. Eating became a habit. He looks at himself in the mirror. He's like, "Hello, handsome," and then his reflection is like, "Hello, fat." Huh? Who's fat? You are. Me? Well, I'm as fit as a fiddle. A bass fiddle. Well, look at that, Mac. Terrific at tennis. What a runner. Boxing. Clever, fast, hard-hitting. So then he tries to slim himself down because apparently there are consequences to being fat. You're too big for your pants. The tires are flat as soon as you get in the car. The elevator won't go anywhere. You have to take 2 seats on the bar. What's your next live stream? I'm glad you asked because for my next live stream I'm gonna take a bit of a break until Christmas Eve because I'm thinking until Christmas Eve. There are 2 different options I did put out on my polls, and despite the polls, I'm still conflicted on which one to choose. On the one hand, should I do one where the characters dress up as characters from a certain Christmas novel from 1844 by Charles Dickens? Or should I do the one where a character where I bring out 24 chocolates and each contains a special gift for any character? Which one should I do? Should I do the 24 gifts or should I do the Christmas novel? Which one do you want me to do? Have you seen the old Mill Silly Symphony? I think I have. Either one is fine. What do you want me to draw for Christmas? I don't know. I just don't know. What do you want me to draw? What do I want you to draw for Christmas? I don't know. Surprise me, I guess. Out of the Winnie the Pooh movies, which one do you think is the best? That's a tough one because I have seen quite a number of Winnie the Pooh movies. I think the first one, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, the one with the 3 stories, the Blustery Day, the Honey Tree, and the Tigger 2. Though I think that's my most favorite. Unrelated, Sleeping Beauty was laid the day before the plane crash, the rock and roll. Buddy Holly, and Buddy Holly. It's what inspired John Lennon to rename his band the Beatles, because Buddy Holly once had a band called the Crickets. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Thank you for these requests. And I promise I'll put the super chat back up in the next one. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. And once again, happy birthday, Walt Disney.